What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gooner channel, and tomorrow is the big one, the North London derby away to Spurs. How are you feeling? Confident? I'm really not sure how to feel about this one. Every game at the moment is full of tension. We know we have no margin of error after that defeat at home to Villa. We have to win all of our 4 remaining games, and this one, without question, is the trickiest of all of them. This is the one we've had our eyes on for the longest time. Way back when I did my prediction, I predicted a draw here, but we now know that's not going to be good enough. Manchester City may well drop points, but it's really unlikely given their run-in. And so this becomes a must-win game for us. It's also a bit of a must-win game for them because they are 6 points behind Aston Villa in the race for 4th with 2 games in hand. So the only realistic chance they have of making it into the top 4 is with a win tomorrow. On form, you'd have to make us huge favourites. After all, we're 17 points clear of them. We have a plus 56 goal difference. Theirs is only plus 16. In the last 11 games, we've won 9, drawn 1, lost 1. They've won 6, drawn 2, lost 3. They've scored 25 and conceded 18. We've scored 35 and conceded only 4. We last conceded an away goal on the 30th of January at Nottingham Forest with their consolation goal late in the game. So all of the form points very definitely to a big win for us. After the fantastic start to the season they had after 9 games, with some of the Spurs fans actually talking about whether they were going to win the league or not. Don't let them tell you they weren't. They were. It's kind of fallen away pretty badly for them. And their last game was a 4-0 thrashing to Newcastle, a fixture that's not really good for them. But this is the North London derby, and the one thing we know is that form goes completely out of the window. In the last 10 visits in the league to their stadium, we've won just twice, drawn just twice, and lost 6. That first win coming in 2015. The second of those 2 wins, memorably last season when we beat them 2-0 to go 8 points clear at the top of the table, with a memorable own goal by Hugo Lloris and, of course, Martin Odegaard's stunning goal from distance. Thomas Partey could easily have scored goal of the season if his had gone in. But it's worth remembering, even the Invincibles weren't able to win this away fixture. Although it was the game that handed us the title with a memorable 2-2 draw, where they celebrated like crazy that they hadn't been beaten by us. And as their fans were filing home, we were able to parade the trophy at their ground for the second time, which, after all, matches as many times as they've ever won it. And so, is this season going to be another win for us? Can we rely on the fact that we are easily the better team? They have fallen away. Ange Postecoglou's done really well. Last season, they weren't able to qualify for Europe. Now they're in a realistic chance, or they have an outside chance of qualifying for the top 4. And even if there isn't something in it for them, for their fans, this is the big game every season. This is their cup final. After all, in that 20-year period since we last won the league, they've won only 1 piece of silverware. For Tottenham fans, it's been 63 years since they won the league. They have absolutely no idea what it's like going this close to winning a title. For them, this probably means more to them than even qualifying for Europe. Another factor here is that Tottenham have had 12 days to prepare for this match, this must-win match for them. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We've played 4 times since then. Of course, we lost to Villa and Bayern, but we came back from that defeat at Bayern, that narrow defeat, which really, where we went out with a bit of a whimper rather than a bang, and it looked like we might be on the start of a free fall in April, but came back with a professional win against Wolverhampton Wanderers away, and then, of course, on Tuesday night, a demolition against Chelsea. So we are, as I keep saying, we are in great form. But 12 days to prepare for this match. Is that a good thing? When we lost to Bayern Munich, we could get straight back into it with a game against Wolves. They've had 12 days of training for this, and I'm just not sure. Are they match fit as we are? If I'm honest, I wish I was a little bit more confident going into this, because it would be just like Tottenham to spoil the party a little bit. Of course, Tottenham will have a say in this title run-in even after the game tomorrow, because Manchester City still have to travel there, and it was a game that they lost last season. So Is it possible that Tottenham could still be going for top 4 and still want to throw that game away just to prevent us winning the league? It's not inconceivable to me. And Man City don't have that many tough fixtures left. After they travel away to Nottingham Forest tomorrow, the only 2 remaining away games they face are Fulham away, which I don't think is going to be that challenging for them given the way Fulham are playing at the moment, and Tottenham away. And you do think maybe it'll be one of those games where the Tottenham fans actually boo if they win. So let's look at who's going to line up tomorrow. For Arsenal, pretty straightforward. David Raya in goal. And after all the debate about whether he was in fact better than Aaron Ramsdale or not, he is now a whisker away from winning the Golden Gloves. The only person who can challenge him is Jordan Pickford. He needs to get clean sheets in all of his remaining games, which for Everton, where they are in the league, you'd have to fancy that's unlikely. David Raya just needs one more clean sheet to get the Golden Gloves. And all of the debate about whether he should have come in for Aaron Ramsdale, kind of gone now, isn't it? It's worth remembering that Tottenham made a massive bid for David Raya, and it was only when they failed to get him, they went for Vicario. And for all of the people saying how well Vicario has done, it is, again, worth remembering that he has conceded 18 in his last 11 games and 4 in his last game. David Raya starts in goal for us, and I think he's really grown into this season, and hopefully he can clinch the Golden Gloves tomorrow. At right back, Ben White, who seems to be growing back into form. His 2 goals against Chelsea couldn't have come at a better time. He hopefully will be in the same kind of form against Tottenham tomorrow, and we're likely to need him, although it's not clear to me who plays on that left, whether it's going to be Timo Werner, Kulusevski, neither of whom have looked particularly strong lately. In the centre of our defence, I think we can rely on Gabriel and Saliba, arguably, or look, I'm going to say it, for my money, the best centre-back pairing in the Premier League at the moment. Saliba has played every minute, maybe not in his best form, but I think he'll still be strong enough alongside Gabriel. And at left back, well, we do have some options. Zinchenko. Now, he's received huge criticism and is certainly out of favour with most Arsenal fans because they see him as a defensive liability. I'm not sure how true that is, but it's definitely fair to say that he hasn't been in the best form. And his strength is really inverting into that midfield, which may or may not be necessary against Tottenham. Then there's Jacob Kivior, who for a long spell there looked like he'd made that position his own, but then he's looked defensively frail. And of course, Tomiyasu, who played so well against Chelsea, is an option. I have a feeling we're going to see Tomiyasu in tomorrow. In midfield, you start with Jorginho, who of course gave away the second goal to Spurs in the reverse fixture with that completely out of character moment of madness. Or do you go with Thomas Partey, who might be coming back to something like his best and was one of the best defensive midfielders in the country last year? I think we probably see Thomas Partey, and ahead of him, Declan Rice, who has been a bargain at 105 million, and Martin Odegaard, who is coming to form at exactly the right time and put in arguably his best performance in an Arsenal shirt in that demolition of Chelsea on Tuesday. Up front, this could be the kind of game for Martinelli. After all, Tottenham do have to come at us. They do have to attack. And Pedro Porro looks more like a winger to me. I'm not sure he's defensively strong enough. But then how do you leave out Leandro Trossard, who scored the first goal in both of our last 2 games, which set us on the road to victory and put us in this position where this game is still so important? So for me, I think we probably see Leandro Trossard. Up front, I think you do have to play Kai Havertz. His off-the-ball work is phenomenal, and he's got a goal in him at the moment. And then on the right, Bukayo Saka, who was arguably our man of the match when we played them earlier in the season at home, and scored that penalty to put us 2-1 up before the Jorginho mistake handed them a draw. So for Tottenham, Vicario and goal, obviously. They are without Destiny Udogie, who a lot of people are saying is one of their best players this season, but I'm not sure he's played that well. It is true to say, though, that if Emerson Royal comes in there, he's not really a left-back, so maybe this will be a game where Bukayo Saka can run him ragged. Pedro Porro on the right, as I said, I don't really see him as a fullback, more of a wing-back at best, and probably more of a winger. And then their back two would be Christian Romero, who I think was really unlucky to give away a penalty against us last time we played, but has a mistake in him and could even have a red card in him in an occasion like this where he tends to lose the blood, where he tends to have a rush of blood to the head. Van der Ven, who has been outstanding, but his form lately not quite there either. And in the midfield, Yves Bissouma, an Arsenal fan, they signed from Brighton. I've heard a lot of Spurs fans saying he's every bit as good as Declan Rice. I just haven't heard that recently. And alongside him, Pepe Sarr, who is a really good player, but might have his hands full in that midfield. Up front, are they going to play Timo Werner? Is Richarlison going to be back in? It's ridiculous to me that we should be worried about either of those two. I mean, since signing on loan for Tottenham, Timo Werner has scored just 2 goals. Heung-min Son, who bagged a brace against us in a reverse fixture, he hasn't been prolific. 15 goals this season, looks good, but in the last 6 or 7 hasn't really been there. And then, of course, there's James Maddison, who is going to be so important for them. If we can keep him quiet, I really think we can do it. I'm going to stick my neck on the line here and say I think we will win this game 2-0, just because I can't see us conceding to this lot, even an occasion as big as this one. And because I do think that we have goals in us right now. That's why we're at the top of the table after all. This title is going to go all the way to the wire. So let me know in the comments how you feel. Are you excited? Are you nervous? Let me know. And if you haven't yet, then click like and subscribe. You know the drill. Going to do a live pre-match to talk about the lineups, see how right I was. Let me know in the comments what your lineup would be. And until I see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock for a live, be lucky. Lots of love.